So in the honor of today's episode, Mike, I would like to start this one off by sharing with you a tale.
A tale?
Yes. Do you like it?
Fuck you.
Do you like my tale?
It's a for those of you that cannot see, which is all
every-
of you. Alex showed me a picture of a cat's tail.
I gotta stop doing visual bits.
Yeah, that was a great pun.
This is a podcast.
But none of these are gonna be viewable.
Well, I do it mainly for your reaction.
Really?
Yeah, it's just fun to make you suffer.
Ah, man, I thought I was the pun master. Anyway, hello, welcome to the Weekly Undertaking. I'm your
Hi.
host, Mike. This is your co-host, Alex.
Yes, hi.
And well,
Good way to start.
yes, thank you. This is episode 15 of the Weekly Undertaking, and this is gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, we have stories to tell.
We do. We
Each
have
other and you.
what?
Well,
Oh,
stories
tell
to tell to
each
each other
Ah,
and you,
Yes.
gesturing to the computer.
to the computer, which is where our audience lives.
Yes, hi guys.
Hello. So, yes. You wanna start? What did you do to prepare for this week?
So I did basically nothing.
Nothing.
Well, I went about my normal everyday life, and every so often, whenever I had a lull in my day, I tried to think of interesting things to bring up this weekend. It was a very strange weekly undertaking in the sense that there was nothing physically demanding about this week at all.
There was no daily task. to
No,
fill.
it was mainly just like, how are you gonna structure your time, and that you come to this episode not completely unprepared.
Right.
I am proud of you because I see a giant list, and it seems like you're prepared.
I hope I am. We'll see.
Yes.
Because, as we mentioned last week, we've spent an awful lot of time together over the years.
You're like, it's like my family, and then you. I've known only my family longer than I've known you.
And that's only probably by a couple days.
Yeah.
To be honest. But, yeah, so I'm not really sure what stories I have or have not told you.
No, same, yeah.
Because, I mean, there were a few years, and by that I mean from middle through most of high school, through all of high school,
Into
and
college.
At least half of college, which we really did not talk on a regular basis.
No.
I mean, we were angsty teenagers, so we would come out, sit in a dark
had
room,
our
play
own
video
lives.
games for a few hours, and then depart. And
that
then-
was friendship.
that was the greatest friendship.
And now it still is friendship, but with the sun instead of clouds.
Yes, absolutely, and a microphone instead of a dark TV.
Yes, well, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not really. So I tried to gather stories from that period of my life more than anything else. So, yeah. Well, did you do the same, or did you go
Yeah.
back to stories from middle and elementary
All
school?
right, so I have three stories, not actual tales.
Uh-huh.
3 stories from my high school and college life.
Okay.
That I think I've told to everyone, but I don't know if I've told to you. Just
Okay.
because you're like a different level of friend, where it's like I feel like you already know everything. So I was like, why even bother sharing?
I agree. When I come out to hang out with you, and I have something that happened during the week, I'm like, you know, he probably just understands.
Yeah,
yeah.
he gets it.
He gets it.
So, but there are a few that I have from early childhood that you may not know.
Okay.
But I do have one story that you definitely know because we did it together. I just don't know if you remember.
Oh God, I might not, because I forget things with much frequency.
Yes. Well, it was a little thing that we made called, and it was very short-lived, the Alex and Mike Show. Or was it the Mike and Alex Show?
What?
One of the two.
I do not remember
Do you remember this?
We've made a lot of really weird YouTube shit over the years.
No,
but I don't remember
this
this
was
one.
the very, very first time we said, like, let's do, like, a show together. Let's do a video together.
We must have been like 5 years old.
No, we were probably, like, 10.
Still.
So, you want to know how far we got?
How far did we get?
I made the sign. That is all.
You're kidding.
No,
we didn't make any videos or anything like that?
We did no content creation, but
Okay.
we did have a website,
Uh-huh.
and I made a sign for the background.
I remember the website.
Yeah, right?
Because I remember this because my dad is very paranoid about my safety on the internet. So when I first announced, hey Dad, me and Alex are making a website and we're gonna put faces and stories online, he was like, no, that's a violation of personal privacy. A couple years later, Facebook was invented, so egg on you, Dad. But I don't know why I said egg.
But egg on you.
Egg on you. I don't know. That's a matter of embarrassment. But I remember because my dad was freaking out, like, Michael, you can't put anything on the internet. And I mean, given the fact that we were 10 years old, he probably was right. But still,
honestly, it might even have been a little older because I remember. I remember like I compared it a lot to iCarly because that was like one of my favorite shows back in the day.
I think the majority, or at least not the majority, but a lot of people our age started YouTube channels expressly because of iCarly.
Yeah, it's such a good show. It showed everyone, oh, you can do this on the internet. You can become famous
on the internet.
What?
You can make friends with the weird kid that takes off his shirt every 3 minutes on the internet.
Gibby,
but best Gibby.
Of course, I think we've grown to a point where now we do it for just all the right reasons.
Which are?
To hang out.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, create something, I suppose.
Yeah, to make something, to be artists, and to just spend time together. Because honestly, just because how life works, I probably would only see you like once every couple months if we weren't doing this.
Like we did in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is a good way to stay in touch.
To mandate hangouts.
That's where
You're not getting away from me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's where it all started, the Mike and Alex show.
So do you have any story that goes along with this?
The only thing I remember is that the website was orange as hell.
Why was it orange?
It was so much orange.
What,
this was way before I was like graphic designer. It was just different shades of orange and circles.
Everyone has that embarrassing time from when they were younger. For you, it was that time you made an orange website.
That was like one of the highlights of that was like one of the least embarrassing things I've done as a child.
Oh, that's funny.
But I thought I'd start with that because that was such a nice little. That wasn't even one of my stories. I just remembered it this week. I was like, I gotta tell them.
That brings me back. That brings me back a ways. Yeah.
It's like, let's do it. And then we promptly forgot about it.
Of course, because we were 10 years old. I mean, attention span of a fruit fly. So, it just didn't pan out. Yeah.
All right.
I'm
already tired of talking, so share with me one of your tales.
Okay. All right. Have I told you about my experience at Mountain Creek Water Park?
Ooh. Give me a time, like a time estimation.
This must have been my sophomore year of high school, I would say.
Probably not. If you did, I definitely don't remember.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Mountain Creek Water Park?
No.
Good. Most people have not. Mountain Creek Water Park, my aunt reached out to me and said, hey, Michael, you, your sister, and your cousin, and whose names I will not mention, we should all go out to this water park. I found this really good deal online. We'll take a weekend. We'll go out to the water park, and we'll have a good time.
For a whole weekend?
For a whole weekend. Because the coupon, or whatever it was, not only did it have a coupon for the water park, it had a coupon for the hotel that was attached to the water park.
Oh, that's how you know it's a good deal.
It is. It was a great deal. And the reason it was a great deal is because I later found out that Mountain Creek Water Park had been shut down 5 years earlier because of safety violations.
What?
And this had just reopened for the first time ever.
Oh, so they're trying to get people in there.
Yes, but I will say, it didn't look like they did much. Mountain Creek Water Park is somewhere in New Jersey. I remember that much for a fact.
Okay.
But the ride, and it's also a ski resort. That's what it's primarily known for. But it turns into a water park during the summer.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's smart, actually.
Yeah, it's a great concept if it was thought through.
Great concept in theory.
In theory.
Poor execution, apparently.
I mean, it was just like so many of the rides were just dangerous. One of the rides, quote unquote rides, was just like it was on a mountain, as the name Mountain Creek and the ski resort fact both go to it with indicate. That's the word I was looking for. But one of the rides, like, there was a pool of like 25 or 30 feet deep underneath a cliffside. Like, it was just a huge cliff.
Oh, and you jump off it?
Yeah,
How is that a ride?
They just, like, essentially what the concept was like, I would have loved to be in the business meeting, because the business meeting was probably like, hey, we need another cheap attraction. Hey, you know that cliff right by the water park? Yeah? What if we just took the fence off? Because there was just like, it was just like a break in the fence. It wasn't anything else. Just took the fence away. It was just like fence, ride, fence. Like, there was a 10 to 20 feet gap in the that was it. And then they had a lifeguard there, but the lifeguard did not give a single solitary crap about their job.
It was like, go.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, what they did was they were like, all right, the safest way to do this, I guess, was to cross your arms across your chest and your ankles when you jumped. And so every time someone would come up, she would say, all right, cross your arms and your legs, go ahead. And the person would promptly jump off whatever way they freaking wanted to. They didn't care. And every time she just rolled her eyes and just said, next. Just like not giving a single care about the fact that person just is probably plummeting to their death. But regardless,
you think anyone died? Well, maybe actually, because they shut down, right?
They shut down, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the violation. But my favorite ride
that wasn't even the best.
No, that wasn't. My favorite part of it was that they had a Tarzan swing. Do you know what a Tarzan swing is?
Yeah. Like you swing.
You swing, yeah. You hold. It was actually like
And then you let go above the water, I would imagine.
Yes, of course. The idea is that there was like a bar, like a pull-up bar on a rope. You would grab onto it, and you would jump off this deck, and you would go over the water, and you would let go, and you would fall in the water, and it would be great. And I watched all these people do it, and they were having fun, and they were going off and doing flips and stuff off the bar, and diving into the water, and it looked really cool. But one thing that I saw was like, what the heck is going on? None of these people are doing a Tarzan scream. This is the Tarzan swing. You gotta have fun with it. So I get on and I grab onto the bar, and I jump off and I yell at the top of my lungs. Oh! Like actually, I did the bit from Baltimore's Tarzan Boy. Just singing. You remember from last week the song?
Yeah,
the terrible '80s song Tarzan Boy.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the song. I just like the beat.
Yeah. Fair enough. That's the only good part about the song. Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you did?
No, more or less.
Just like super unenthused, just like sliding down.
Yeah, exactly. So I yelled at the top of my lungs, and I realized when I got to the apex of the swing that you need some kind of upper body strength to carry you for the rest of this.
Yeah, you gotta swing.
Yes.
That's why they call it that.
Right. But I was not prepared for that. So essentially, I was yelling at the top of my lungs, and I got to that vertex, and the weight just ripped my arms away. Like I just like fell off the swing and promptly belly flopped onto the thing. So,
I see that. I saw that so perfectly in my head.
Yeah, just like, and so for everybody else on the deck, they were just chilling out, minding their own business, and then this kid screams at the top of their lungs. They all turn just to see me, like, face plant onto the water. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man.
Dude, what kind of park is this? Those are two rides that idiots do at lakes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a water park ride.
There were so many rides that were literally just the attraction to it is you jump off a cliff. Those were two. There were at least 3 other rides that was the entire thing.
Yeah, they probably made a lot of money in YouTube fail videos.
Maybe that was their business model. Because otherwise, I don't understand why anyone would go to this park. Well, actually, because of the coupon.
Yeah, that's why you went.
That's why I went.
Oh, also, did you jump off the cliff?
Oh, of course.
I forgot to ask you.
Yeah, of course I did.
How was it?
It was a lot of fun,
Great.
you know?
I always wanted to do that.
It was fun, yeah. I jumped off and was having a great time, and then I was still falling, and I freaked out and landed, and, it was
It's like you scream, and then you realize you're still falling, so you kind of feel like you have to keep screaming.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, that was the scariest part. The free fall time was a little bit longer than I anticipated.
Would you ever go skydiving?
Oh, of course. In a heartbeat.
So?
Yeah.
So that the free fall time was too much for you?
Well, I was not expecting the free fall time with that one.
Okay.
Also, I did not have a parachute.
Okay.
Or an expert jumper attached to my back.
Good points.
Yeah,
these are good points that you're making.
Mm-hmm. I think I went off the cliff twice, actually. And I went off the Tarzan swing again to
redeem yourself?
To redeem myself. It didn't work. I didn't scream that time, but I still belly flopped, so that was not... Yeah.
Yes. So, overall, your family liked the trip?
We never went back. I don't know. I mean, I think that it would be a great park for, like, college-age kids, because you can just
totally
screw around, and it's great, but...
That would be fun.
Yeah, but, I wouldn't suggest those with youngsters go to this.
All right, if it's still open, even.
Yeah.
Who knows, right?
They might have gotten shut down again. Who knows? Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So,
Well,
all
great
right.
story, Mike.
Thank you.
Good start.
Thank you. You tell
Okay.
me. You tell me your first story.
Let me. I don't even remember. Let's see.
Did you write it down?
Yeah.
Did
No, I didn't write down the story. I wrote down the titles.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm on a 5-paragraph essay.
Oh, did I ever tell you about the time that I sliced my finger?
I think you did. Tell it again.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell it again.
Yes.
See, these are like the few things that happened to me that were really like not good. So of course I told you.
Uh-huh.
But it's like I don't know. I learned an important lesson from it, which is like X-Acto knives are dangerous.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I still have my little scar. Yeah, you see that little like circle?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's
Wait, when did this happen?
my senior year of high school.
Okay.
I was working on the project that would later get me accepted into my dream college, which is the one I went to.
Oh, cool.
Which was a giant, the branch downstairs with the words Google on it, made out of origami birds.
I do. Yes,
Yes,
that's a great.
That's what I was working on,
Okay.
and I did not have origami paper to make all the little birds.
There's
that I was
specifically
doing.
origami paper.
Yes.
I did not know this. I thought that that was the art of the paper folding.
Well, yeah, but like they make papers that are made for origami folding.
For
like,
folding?
nice pattern. Yeah, for folding.
Huh. I
Yeah.
did not know this.
Dude, they sell them.
Oh, cool.
They're great.
Interesting.
But I didn't have any.
All right.
So what I did is I printed probably around 100 sheets of paper of different colors, like the blue, the green, the red, and the yellow, to make the different colors in the Google logo. This was before the Google logo changed, although the colors didn't change, so I don't know why I'm bringing this up. But
The font is different for all of you that care.
yeah, I hated it at first, but you know what? It's not bad. It's kind of growing on me.
They do good stuff.
But anyway,
So you're doing you're making a Google sign.
yeah, I probably had around like 75 birds made at this point, but I hadn't really been attaching them yet. So that I was just cutting out the paper in my off period, which was like near the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
And there was like another group of kids in the art room, and it was just me alone, and then another group, and then my art professor, who was just sitting in the corner, and like they were talking, and everyone was like laughing. So I was about to cut. I looked up, and then I dragged without looking,
Oh no.
and I just like
Yeah.
yeah, of course I sliced my finger, and like I lifted up. It's like a kind of moment. I didn't know what to do, so I kind of just put my blade down. I grabbed my finger and I just walked out of the room real peacefully. I was like, if I make a scene, people will remember this. I have to just leave calmly.
Just with blood splurting everywhere. Just
Yeah.
like, no, nothing happened.
Because I also didn't really even have time to process it, because like I saw it, like the little piece that I cut off. Which I
Of your finger?
Yeah, I just missed my nail. It wasn't completely off, like it was dangling.
Ugh.
This is really gross. I'm
That
sorry.
really is.
So I put it back on and I held it tight. Then I just walked to the nurse's office, which was luckily really close to the art room. So I just walked in and I knocked on the door and was like, "Hi, excuse me, I accidentally just sliced my finger open. Can I have a bandage?" And then the nurse came over and was like, "Oh shit," and she was like, yeah, basically she was like, "I'm gonna have to, like, you're gonna have to leave school and get this stitched up." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like sad,
Very calm about
because I had band at the end of the day and I was excited for it, but I missed it. Basically,
That's you went to the ER and your only regret is that you missed band class?
well, there's more.
Okay, continue.
But I was at the point where it was like nothing. Like I've never gotten an injury this bad, which I know. Like I'm a very lucky boy. I've never broken a bone still, and I don't want to. But this is like one of the worst injuries that I've had in my life. So
Right.
like I got to the point where it's like not fear, but like the gray after fear, where it's just like I don't even know what to feel. I'm just gonna go with it. So basically, the nurse wrapped up my bandage or my finger in like so many gauze, and then she wrapped it like around my thumb too, and like around my whole hand, so like to keep it in place. But it looked like so much worse than it did. So then,
I mean, I would think that you're like half your hand is dangling off at that point.
so then I was like, I have an idea. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to my at the time girlfriend saying, "Had a little accident. won't be there after school today to say hi. Sorry, heart. And then just kind of put my phone. I was a dick boyfriend.
Yeah, you're terrible. I would be. Oh, God.
Well, like, part of me didn't realize how shitty it was, like how shitty it looked at that point. And also, I was just like, I was not very self-aware boyfriend at the time. I've gotten a lot better.
Okay. Noted to all those
But
ladies
basically,
listening.
yeah, single. She responded like, "Oh my God, what happened?" I was like, "Oh no, I just sliced my finger a little bit. I'll be fine." But yeah, then
While it looks like you're mummified. Yeah.
yeah. So then the two vice principals came because I guess they felt like they had to.
Whoa, that's pretty. You got both vice principals out of the office.
I got the attention, and they
Wow.
came down. And they're like, "Hey, Alex, we heard you hurt yourself. We hope you're feeling better." Luckily, my right hand was not the one I cut, so I was able to shake both their hands.
Good. That's
My
always
mom
good.
came. One of the vice principals got my bag from the other room, in the art room, gave it to me, and I went with my mom to the ER. She was actually very calm too.
Good.
Good on you, Mom. I was expecting you to be, like, very, very, like, kind of, like, nervous, but you held together very well, and that helped me a lot, and I appreciate that. So basically, I went into the urgent care place that we have in town. I got numbed and stitched up, and it was fine. That part was all fine. It's when the numbness wore off.
That you
Did I really notice it? Because that day was also the day where we started like this huge a truck horn. Started this huge competition we have in our school every year, where basically I was like one of the bigger people in the art department,
Right.
and we were doing it at my house. So basically, I had to go home from getting like my like finger fixed to basically carry a bunch of art supplies into my basement.
Oh man.
And it came out just having this like huge bandage around my hand. It just looked like I had like a mushroom on my finger. And I also didn't mention they tried sewing like the piece of my finger back on
Ew.
to basically just like keep it from getting infected. I know it's gross,
It
but
really
this is what happened.
I gotta cringe. Sorry.
But people like the cringe apparently.
I guess so.
So, but basically, my friends came over. We went downstairs, and like I was instructed to keep it pointing up, like point at the sky all day. So it got really, really cold because there was no blood in it. So then I had to shower and I removed the bandage, and that hurt. Not like
Removing the bandage?
not taking it off, but the fact that it was so tightly bound and then it was like kind of like set free, like that expansion, that hurt. And then eventually, a few weeks later, I got the stitches taken out, and then my finger, the piece was back on my finger, but not well enough. Because a few days later, it kind of it fell off.
Ew.
And I was like, oh.
Did it start bleeding again?
No.
Good.
Like, my finger, it just had, like, it's still even, like, it's a little, like, lopsided. But, like, back then, it was, like, a perfect, like, diagonal. But it was fine. It was just, like, a chunk was gone. I was like, okay.
I guess the finger was like, oh, we
So,
don't need this anymore.
I left English class, and I threw out my little piece of the finger in the garbage. And, like, you're probably thinking, like, it's a big chunk. It was, like, a little sliver at that point.
Okay.
It really was not... It was not half a finger in the garbage.
What freaking school? Just like, yep, I left my finger there.
It was unrecognizable as a piece of flesh.
Okay,
It
cool.
looked like a piece of paper.
Good.
Honestly, at that point. Because, like, it had just, like, everything had left it.
At that point, you would have just freaked out the janitor.
Yes, so that was actually my second grossest story that I have on my list.
Oh my god!
No,
you just...
That one was actually pretty...
Next
that one was
episode is
actually pretty
when...
worse.
The next story I have is when I was captured by Jigsaw. Just...
Yes.
Oh, man.
But that's my story. Lesson learned.
Yes.
Basically, X-Acto knives are sharp as hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
But honestly, they're like I taught X-Acto knife safety in college.
Right, because
basically-
you'd be the guy to know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that honestly, because if there's one person that will never use an X-Acto knife badly again,
Is the guy who got cut.
it's you, exactly.
Yeah. But like almost half of all designers or people who use X-Acto knives do. My mom did it like really bad when I was a kid. My professor that I worked with had this terrible story about how like an old X-Acto knife broke and a piece went into her eye.
Oof.
That made me
That's
feel
bad.
a lot better about my injury. I'm like,
Yeah, absolutely.
but basically, the few rules of X-Acto blades are like, always make sure it's super like new and really sharp, so that if you do cut yourself, it's a very clean cut.
Right.
It's easy to deal with. And also, take your time, don't press too hard, have a good angle, good stance. Now I'm just teaching X-Acto knife safety. So why don't you just tell your next...
There's a great X-Acto knife. I'm glad. Now,
Yeah.
now if I ever come into contact with an X-Acto knife in the wild, I'll know how to handle it.
It's like, whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm okay.
That'll freak him out. I'll freak out the X-Acto knife.
I was starting to do that bit before I swallowed my water.
Poor planning.
Just tell your story.
Okay, fine.
I'm embarrassed.
All right, which one should I tell next?
Even if you did tell them to me, I have a terrible memory.
All right, fair enough. I'm trying to decide. I have 2 stories from when I went abroad, but both of them are travel stories, and I don't want to be that dick that was just like, hey, when I was in Berlin, when I was in London, when I was in there. So...
Well, I'll allow you one if you really want to tell it.
I do want to tell it.
Then I'll allow one.
All right.
Or you can combine 2 into the length of one.
All right. All right. So I'll tell this one. This is from when I was in Catania, which is a city in Sicily.
I thought you meant a woman. When I was in Catania, I was like, "Wow, Mike, risque."
Is that? First of all, is Catania even a name?
It's a really cool name.
It's I guess
if
so.
It was.
I guess so.
I was probably thinking of the name Katrina.
Katrina,
but
yes.
Catania is a cool name too.
Yeah, it is.
If I met someone named Catania, I'd be like,
yeah, it flows off the tongue.
Cool.
It's a nice one. You know what? I'll keep that in mind for when eventually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
tell your tale.
So, essentially, me and my friend Nick went to Catania for a weekend so that we could hike up a volcano. What we didn't realize when we got there was that, there was a huge festival going on that I did for some saint that I had never heard of and have never thought about since. Just like there were people parading and, floats over their shoulders and everything like that. Just like walking all through the streets. Mm-hmm. And it was a great time for the first day. But when we actually had to go to the airport, it was a little bit more difficult. Because we were already running late and we had to run back to our hostel, grab our stuff, and then leave. And Nick said that he knew where it was, and so we sprinted out of the hostel and ran to
hostel.
Hostel.
What's that?
It's like a cheap hotel.
Oh.
You like share a room with a bunch of other travelers and stuff like that. Have you never
even heard of a hostel?
Really?
I thought the lowest grade of hotel was motel.
No, motel. Yeah, no. It's a step below motel because in a motel at least you have your own room. This one you're literally
just hanging out with others.
You literally have share a bunk bed with someone you've never met before.
I hate rooming with people I know.
Yeah, I mean it's only for a couple nights,
kidding.
so it's not that bad.
But
yeah, for all roommates out there,
yes.
Alex does not hate you.
I've enjoyed 90% of the people that I've roomed with.
That's a pretty good success rate, I will say.
Yeah.
But regardless, the amount of things that you've never heard of always shocks me. Last week I found out you never listened to Meatloaf. The week before I found out that you've never eaten tortellini. Now I found out you've never heard of a
Actually,
hostel.
Thinking about it, I have eaten tortellini. I just didn't remember. So if anything you want to make fun of my shitty memory.
I will make fun of you for that.
But actually, even I have a really good memory with weird things.
Like what?
Like the Alex and Mike show.
That's very true.
Shit like that.
The thing that we only made a sign for and never actually pursued.
And a website.
When we were 10 years old.
So, I don't know. I'm weird.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Keep talking about your hospitable.
That wasn't the story. It was literally just... The entire purpose of the hostel was that we left the story. Okay. So we left the hostel and we go to the place where the bus is. And we're waiting there for a very long time, and Nick says that he can speak Italian, which I don't think he can. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, he can speak more than I can, and he spent the entire time in Italy, so I trusted him. But I don't think that he was able to read the signs as well as he could, because we were waiting there for an hour, and no bus had come. So we were we were very nervous, and we were curious as to what the hell happened. We called the taxi, and it turns out that every road in Catania had been shut down for this damn festival, shit. Which we did not prepare for. Eventually, we found some people that spoke some English that took us a different route on a different bus, and we eventually got to the airport about 5 minutes after our plane left. So we spent the entire night in the Catania airport.
How was that?
how do you think it was, Alex?
Like at least kind of okay.
It was. I mean, I'm sitting here. We figured out how to get back, but it was not a very fun night. First of all, I don't know if you've ever spent the night in an airport.
No, actually.
Good. I hope you never have to.
It's bad.
It's very bad. In America, I mean, the security in America is much more strict than anywhere in Europe, I've found.
Makes sense.
So I don't think that you would be able to do what I did in, say, JFK, for example.
Just sleep there.
Just sleep there. Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, essentially we just propped ourselves up against a wall and just sat there for, like, let's see, the flight was at 8:30. The next flight that we actually got was at 6 in the morning. So however many hours that is, it was
like 10.
Yeah. So for 10 hours, we just sat up against a wall. Everything was shut down. The janitors were giving us weird looks. And the only company we had is that flights were still arriving. They weren't taking off, but they were arriving. And the only company we had, which I did appreciate, were two people that I met from Somalia that just came and just sat down and slept next to us.
Aw.
And now that I'm thinking about it, it's a little sketch because we didn't really know them. They didn't really speak English.
I didn't know you.
Great. Yeah, exactly.
They took a chance.
The only thing we knew was that they were from Somalia and they were just sleeping next to us. So that was a little concerning. And like
Wow.
at 4 a.m., what happened was this Italian security guard, I guess, came over and started kicking us all awake, and we were just like, "Oh, do we have to move?" And he didn't speak English, so he just kept walking, and so we were just like, went back to sleep, and he kicked us like 4 or 5 more times, and essentially what we gathered is
Don't sleep.
You can sit in this exact location on the floor and get in everybody's way, but if you sleep, that is what's against the law here.
Be conscious.
I guess it was just kind of a dick thing to do, which I did not appreciate.
Dude, you were literally homeless for a night. How neat.
Is it?
Well,
Is it neat?
It's a fun story.
I guess so. I guess that was also the night of the Super Bowl, and I was very upset that
cool.
I was not able to watch that. Yeah.
That reminds me of the time that I got lost in Venice with 2 of my friends, but it
Did
ended
you?
in success as we found the bullet train right when we needed to.
Oh, good.
But Venice is like a big maze,
It
so
is.
it was like really fun.
Yeah.
In like a okay, if we don't solve this maze in the next 30 minutes, we're gonna be left here forever. So
Yeah.
come on.
Well, I mean, that was pretty. Yeah. You found it. You made your way out.
Yeah, that was fun.
Venice. I've been to Venice too. It definitely is.
Dude,
it's
I
tricky.
love Venice.
It's great. It's a beautiful city.
If I could move to any other country, I'd go to Italy. Heartbeat.
You would go to if you could go to anywhere in the country, you would go to Italy.
No, anywhere outside the country.
Okay, I thought you said in the country. I was like, I don't think that American.
No, well, that way I
geography-
could stand anywhere in Italy and be like, mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a lot of really bad stories with Nick, travel stories. So I love Nick.
Everyone needs a friend like that.
Yeah, Nick is incredible. He's a great friend. He's a very capable individual, and I don't think I would be able to have gotten out of that without him. But man, we had the worst luck. I was with him when I got pushed off a bus in Berlin too, but that's another story.
Wow,
Sorry.
great.
Continue. Okay. Oh wow, this is going long.
Dude, that's fine.
All right.
What, who gives a shit?
Fair enough.
Long episode today, everyone, because we still got 3 stories to tell.
Well, you got another story to tell.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
2, 1.
Oh yes. Okay.
If
Continue.
you still want to do 3. If we do 2 and there's like 50 minutes, then whatever.
Yeah, fine. Tell your story.
This actually isn't my story, but you reminded me. Did I ever tell you about the time I street performed in Italy?
You what?
I performed in the streets in Italy.
Did you get money?
Yeah.
Nice.
I juggled my clubs that I had bought there for probably about 2 hours, and I made probably around 20 euros with my friend, who I've been teaching to juggle the whole trip. He was okay. We got around 20 euros, and we bought ice cream.
Good. That's a good time.
It was fun. We had like an hour or not an hour, like half a day where like we had nothing to do. So I was like, let's go perform in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun.
That is.
That's not my tale.
What's your tale? What's the title of the next story?
Just to be safe, just in case we only get to do 2 each, or we decide that in like 10 minutes when it's like 44 minutes, I'm going to tell the story of how I decided on my profession.
All right. Well, this is getting real deep.
Yes, did I ever tell you about this?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well this, for those of you who don't know, I am a graphic designer, recently graduated from college, and am now working as a designer. That's awesome. But how did I get on this path in the first place, you must be asking, and I will tell you.
All right.
So, first of all, to ask a 16, 17-year-old person to decide what they want to do for the rest of their lives is something I still think is bullshit.
It's a stressful choice. Yeah.
Yes. And I think I got lucky in that I chose the right thing for me. But honestly, I didn't even know when I chose. So I was like 16, end of my junior year, and starting next year in high school, we had to basically be like, okay, I'm going to do this forever. So
You have to choose I guess because
you have to start applying early senior year.
I did the cop-out choice and was just like, yeah, I'm going to be undeclared for the first couple of years.
No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to know what I was doing. So in high school, everyone kind of had their thing, you know, like there was the basketball guy.
There were the jocks. There were the nerds.
Yeah, but like even like into a more specific category of that. Like there was the golfer, and there was like the guy who like stared at you funny from the other side of the lunchroom.
Jerry.
And I never thought I really had a thing, you know? I was never that guy who was like the best at anything in a class.
Right.
I always wanted to be. And eventually I was in one class. Can you guess what that class was? It's just by judging how the end of the story goes.
Sports history.
No. Dude, I didn't know anything about the Vikings like two weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
it's sports history, man.
Sports history.
Good guess.
That's it, right?
No, it was a graphic design class.
That would have been my third guess.
What would have been your second guess?
I don't know, probably math.
Okay.
So what was your? Well, okay, so you got graphic design.
Yeah. So I saw there was a graphic design class late junior year. I was like, all right, I'll take my senior year. And at this point, I decided I was going to do art. I just didn't know specifically what kind. And I went to this graphic design class, and I fucking killed it.
Good.
Like, I was that asshole who, like, other people were like, why bother? Alex is just going to do it better. Like, you know, that kid I used to, like, point at in every other class? It's like, I'm not going to play the trumpet that hard because this kid right next to me is going to try his, like, very best and do better than me anyway.
Jerry.
Like, I always had that person to point the finger at. But then it was like, it's me.
You are. You are that asshole.
And it felt right. It felt good.
Good.
I worked really hard in that class, and it was very rewarding. And, like, halfway through that year, I was like, yeah, graphic design, and I know I'm doing the right thing. Because even how I decided art in the first place was when I was 14, I not 14, probably even younger. I love, like, doing art, but I love doing art on the computer. Like MS Paint, Microsoft Word, shit like that was my, like, apple cider. Like,
all right,
that,
apple cider?
Yeah.
That's what, okay.
And then one day my dad, we host a brunch every year, and he was like, hey, son, can you make a menu for our restaurant? And I was like, sure. So I made a restaurant, and I filled it up with little, like, stupid-ass, picture art pictures, and, like, word art, and, like, stupid-ass jokes. What was one of them?
I mean, all your jokes are stupid, so that just think of one.
I know my jokes didn't improve, but my skills had since then. But
good.
Yeah.
Just like, what do you mean, like,
it's like
puns?
like there was like a picture of like a car with a thumbs up, and he's like, "Hey kids, commit tax fraud." It's like I didn't even know what tax fraud was.
Lightning McQueen says, lie on your taxes.
So yeah, that was fun.
I love that. That's really funny.
They had the classic pig was like, bacon. I wonder what's in it. Like stuff like that.
Great.
Like, stupid ass shit.
Jokes about cannibalism.
But everyone loved it. Like, not because it was good,
right,
but because I made it. And they were like, good job, Alex. And I was like, it felt good.
Okay.
So I think eventually I now credit that project to what started me on this path of design in the first place. So
all right.
That's really
the menu thing. You mean?
Making a menu.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
And everything I've done since then in design has only cemented my belief that this is the perfect thing for me to do.
All right, that's great.
I think we have time to
For
do one more each really
yeah.
quick.
I think so too.
Just a couple minutes.
All right. And I'll go with the greatest singular performance I've ever seen in my life.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you see it every week with me. Because this is the best.
Alex, I don't know how to break it to you. I don't know how to break it to you, Alex. No, it's not. It's not us. That's very upsetting. I'm sorry.
Okay,
So-
well, tell me about the best thing that you've ever seen.
So I had a very good friend that went to a school upstate, and she was a theater major.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell. And every Friday,
Upstate New York.
upstate New York,
by the
yes,
way.
of course, not upstate. I don't know.
Minnesota.
Is there an upstate in Minnesota?
Well, there's a state, so of course there's a state, like, up.
I, I guess. All right. I guess
Like,
so.
all of New York to us is upstate.
Right.
Like, everything else in New York is upstate.
Right, because we're down.
Yeah, we are the furthest down point. We are the southern shore, my friend.
Yes.
Literally.
That's literally the absolutely. Anyway, so every one Friday a month at this college, which
Yep.
I won't say because I'm not a narc. Once a month they would go and they would break into the main theater, and
Nice.
all the theater majors would just perform stuff that they otherwise would not get a chance to do.
Nice.
So people would do heartfelt poems or songs they wrote. Or the improv troupe did drunk improv.
Fun.
Dumb stuff
Did
like
they
that.
actually drink?
Of course.
Cool.
It's college.
I'm just making sure. I'm clarifying.
There are people everywhere making very bad choices in college.
That always makes me feel nice.
And in life, but yeah. Anyway, so I was there and I was just watching this. And the best performance I've ever seen was this one girl finishes up her poem or something and she leaves. The next guy comes on stage, dragging nothing behind him, having nothing with him but a backpack and a trash can that he was dragging behind
Is this
him.
the milk story?
Yes.
You've told me
I
this.
have told you
but
this.
please continue.
Damn it. Okay, so as he comes on stage, the song "I Would Do Anything for Love" by Meatloaf starts playing.
I already know how this ends.
Yeah, which, as many of you know, is a very long song. It's 8 minutes long, and it starts with a drum, like towards the beginning of the song. There's a drum beat. I would do anything for love, but I won't do. And then it starts picking up a little bit, and this guy comes to the center of the stage, kneels down, opens his backpack, and on that drum beat pulls out 2 half-gallons of milk. And the entire stadium starts going wild. This guy,
They know what's happening.
They know. I was lost, but this guy proceeded to chug both gallons of milk throughout the entirety of "I Would Do Anything for Love" by Meatloaf, which I cannot emphasize enough is an 8.5-minute song. And he almost did it. He finished the entirety of the first gallon, got about halfway through the second one.
Dude, most people can't drink a gallon of milk in an hour.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was a half gallon, but still.
That's okay.
Less
impressive.
He chugged 3/4 of a gallon in 8 minutes.
That's
still pretty good. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So he got about halfway through the second one, stopped, turned to the trash can, and threw up in it. And then he stood up, went over to the microphone, said, "Thank you for the opportunity," grabbed the trash can and just walked off stage. And honestly, that man is an American hero.
Oh, good on him.
Yeah,
I wonder what he's
absolutely.
doing now.
Probably still doing the
Probably,
same thing.
maybe he upgraded to protein shakes.
Maybe. That would be another one. What would be the song? I mean, you still think to Meatloaf's "I Would Do Anything for
I
Love"?
feel like Flight of the Bumblebee.
That would be a good one. That would be even better. I like that. I like that.
Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway
Something
to
like that. I don't know.
Some classic rock musical.
Like something really long.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that's mine.
All right.
I'm done.
You physically shuffled it off.
I did. Now
right.
let's see what you can do.
I got one more.
Follow that up.
I'm sure I mentioned this story to you at least once or twice, but this is the time when I got sick during my sophomore pinup.
No, I don't
Not
think
ringing
you
any
did.
bells?
No.
Great.
You did a pin-up? Like in...
This is probably one of the worst few days of my life.
Oh, is this the grossest story on the list?
No. Well, it's not grosser than the finger one.
Okay.
I just said that to be dramatic.
Okay.
I will spare some details.
Thank you.
But sophomore year of college, at the end of that year, my specific program requires you to go to this thing called pinup, where you put up all your work and display it all in front of the entire graphic design faculty and present it. And then they basically decide whether or not you get to stay in the program.
Oh, you did tell me this.
Yeah. So that's a fucking stressful thing.
I would say so.
Like-
I mean, you got professionals telling you whether or not you have a career in
Yes.
the thing that you've spent 2 years studying.
Now, in recent years, they're getting, like, less and less strict. Like, you really have to fuck up for them to say, like, get out.
Is that a good thing?
Maybe?
I mean, because it's like, I mean, at least when you were doing it, at least you knew if you passed, you were probably going to be able to...
Yeah, I think it was more along the lines of, like, it's, like, to a point where, like, I don't know, like, you get kicked out if you, like, really mess up, or, like, if it's, like, kind of close, they might suggest you repeat a year. Or, like, I think they even do that for the people who really fucked up. But
Okay.
I'm not positive. So, a few days before this, I got stupidly sick. Like, the sickest I've ever felt in my entire life happened, like, Wednesday night. My pinup was on Friday morning. So, and I had a class Thursday. So basically, I was doing a final because it's the end of the year, and I woke up Thursday and I could not move.
What?
Like,
Just like with...
I felt awful standing up. Like, it was mostly in my core and my stomach. That's all I'll say. But that's where most of the horror was in.
Okay.
So every, like, few seconds, my class is at 12, so I had, like, every, like, 5 or 10 minutes, I'd get up, run over to my desk, and, like, quickly do another little piece of glue on my on the book I was making, and I'd run back to bed because I'd have to sit down. Because it was too fucking... It was such an intense experience that at 12:30, I managed to get to the other side of campus and drop off my final and say, no way in hell I can stay here. So goodbye. And I just left.
Ran back. You know what? I'm honestly impressed that you still were able to do all that.
Dude, I can't believe, like, later my friend she was also in that class texted me and she was just like, "You okay? You look like shit." And I was like, "I am not okay."
That's a great friend.
Like, I legit, like, it was that so bad that my mom, bless her soul, drove all the way up to my campus and, like, literally drove me home so I could, like, sit in my bed and, like, have privacy and eat soup and shit like that.
Great.
And then she drove me all the way back up Friday morning to do my pinup, which I was still horribly ill for. I don't remember any of it, and which sucks because I think I got some really nice compliments. I think I did very well.
Good.
Like, or at least my work did well. I did not do well.
You were dying. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? The dude next to me got kicked out.
What do you mean?
Like, he got he wasn't, like, accepted.
Wait, but what do you mean standing there? Like, they have all the projects just lined up?
It's like a room for, like, 3 people.
Okay.
So it was me and then 2 other people, and the guy in the middle just was not allowed to keep going.
Now, was it like on American Idol when it's just like one of you 3 is not making it to the next week?
I don't think it's exclusively like that.
And then Ryan Seacrest plays the dramatic music, and then it's just like, "Ryan, you're going home," or something like that. Is that what happened?
I think it was more on because his work is fine. He just never went to class and always was late with work. So he did his whole, like, presentation, and then one of the professors was like, "Okay, but, like, what the hell? You're never in class and you never do your work." And yeah, it just kind of derailed from there. That's what I remember. Again, I was very much out of it.
Jerry, I'm not giving you this rose.
But basically...
Jerry's been through a lot this episode. Sorry, go on.
So that's really it. It was a stressful time, and I got horribly sick. And, I mean, I couldn't remember really most of it, so it's fine. But I just remember that being as, like, one of the toughest weeks of my life. But... Dude, I felt so
Wait, they
good.
actually embarrassed Jerry in front of you and the 2 of you? I'm still hung up on this. I'm sorry.
It was the entire graphic design class, and there's an audience of, like, 20 or so people, whoever wants to come.
Oh my god, it is The Voice. And No, it is American Idol.
Sure.
My god. Do they vote?
No, they don't vote.
I don't know.
I don't know how it works.
Okay.
It's usually a pretty unanimous decision.
Okay.
Either one way or the other.
Right.
But after I'm glad that's the one thing you were like, whoa, hold on.
Listen, I'm sorry. Jerry does not deserve to be... Justice for Jerry. He does not deserve to be embarrassed in front
His
of everybody.
name was not Jerry, by the way.
Doesn't...
But I'm not selling you his name, obviously, but it wasn't Jerry.
Probably Jerry.
But yeah, after that, I felt so good mentally. I still felt like shit. But I felt incredible up here in my mind.
Up here in your mind head?
Yes, in my mind head. And
good.
I came home and I sat in bed for 3 days, and then I felt a lot better.
That's honestly, that's great.
It was one of the worst days, but you know what?
You made it through.
Made it through.
Powered through.
I graduated 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Good on us all.
Yeah. Pour one out for Jerry. Is that all? Is that everybody's stories?
We got through 3 stories. We're getting close to 50. I think we should just prepare for next week.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I say that instead of pick for the pick and pocket because we're not picking for the pick and pocket this week.
Because next week is Halloween.
Or at least like 2 days before Halloween.
Right. 3 days, I think.
It's very close to Halloween.
Exactly. So next week we will be doing a Halloween special.
What? It's our very first special. Mm-hmm. We're going to be doing 4 a year. But obviously...
we are.
Obviously,
right.
in 2018, we're only doing 2 because we started in July.
Right, of course.
So
we are doing a very special undertaking this week in which we essentially will try to scare all your pants off because it's Halloween.
That's what we're going for.
That is what we're going for.
Okay, but more specific terms,
right.
We're going to do research on genuinely terrifying things that have happened throughout
history,
recorded history.
And yes, all of these stories will be real, or as real as the documentation tells it. Whether it be a serial killer or a ghost story, hauntings, monsters, Zambos. Yeah,
it could be as real as like a bunch of proof and like a person did it to as like controversial as like Bigfoot or Nessie. It's like things that can't be proven are still allowed.
Right, exactly.
As long as it's fucking creepy and weird.
So we'll combine all the info and tell you guys this story so that you can have a very, very spooky Halloween.
Yes, and it's gonna be great. We're gonna have actual footage next week, video footage as well on our YouTube channel. We'll have that linked, but come back here, just standard to see the to find that, and we'll also have just audio only, of course.
If you like to listen while driving or walking,
it's gonna be great. We're gonna be wearing really shitty costumes that we're gonna make 5 minutes before we go on,
most likely,
and we're gonna have candy and orange lights, probably.
Orange lights.
I gotta go to Walmart or something to find those,
or to the AlexandMikeShow.com to get that.
To get all things orange.
All things orange. Perfect mood lighting.
Okay. Let's quit it here. But that's what we're doing, and you should join us. Like, prepare for the Halloween spirit and learn about some creepy ass stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for listening. You have been listening to The Weekly Undertaking. Our credit goes out to Adam Rudy, who wrote and performed both the theme song and our outro music. If you like what you hear, please give him a follow on all social medias at TV's Adam Rudy.
But wait, we also have the medias of socialisms.
Yes, we do.
All that's in the description. Our YouTube channel is also in the description because things are going to start going up there, actually. Ain't that a crazy thing?
It is. Wow, we're actually
We're going to be doing stuff on there, too.
Wow.
Yeah, we're expanding.
What a concept.
So, yeah, go check that out. And that's it.
Yeah, thank you.
That's fucking it.
Yeah, thank you for listening. And until next week, don't forget to challenge yourself.
And try something new.
Have a great week.
Goodbye.